we're back, and like I said before, Tara, in my mind, will win and become the new Knockouts champion. Now we got that out of the way. We have a few more matches to go on this card, and it's probably going to be one of the best pay-per-views. In my opinion, Sacrifice is probably one of the best TNA pay-per-views every year because, like I probably said earlier, you know, they'll always have some certain stipulation, like you had to put something up against something else. For example, like we just covered a few minutes ago, the Knockouts Championship versus Tara's career. Now, you don't really see that often, a title versus career match. Like I said earlier, Tara, I think, doesn't have many years left in her, but this is not her night that she will retire. Because, of course, why would you go to TNA for a few months, last year, and then want to call it quits? Obviously, she probably didn't have a few years left in her, career, but she's still on the top of her game, and everyone knows it. So I'm going to pick Tara to win this match. Now, there's a really interesting match for Sacrifice. Desmond Wolfe versus Abyss. Now, like I said before, they'll try to put something on the line against something else. In this case, Abyss will put up the Hulk Hogan Hall of Fame ring versus Desmond Wolfe, who will put up Chelsea's services for 30 days. Meaning, if Desmond Wolfe loses to Abyss, Abyss will have full control of Chelsea and whatever she does for the next 30 days. And to be honest, that's a pretty good stipulation, man, because if Desmond Wolfe loses, he's fucked. Because Abyss will have his girl, and that's awesome, in my opinion. Now, on the other hand, though, if Desmond Wolfe beats Abyss, this will mean that Abyss will have to hand over Hulk Hogan's Hall of Fame ring to Desmond Wolfe. Now, that is pretty big in itself, because Hulk Hogan's Hall of Fame ring, that is a ring held by one of the greatest minds in professional wrestling. One of the greatest, wrestlers in professional wrestling in many people's minds. And Abyss having that ring kind of disrespected me at first, especially when it came out to American Made, which is retarded. I'm just going to say that right now, that's retarded. But it shows that Hogan will pass the torch, He'll pass the torch, and it's a big deal of respect for Hulk Hogan if you have his Hall of Fame ring and he gives it to you. That is huge. Now, like I said before, the Hall of Fame ring versus Chelsea's managerial, just management services for 30 days. Now, Desmond Wolfe, or, who, if you know from Ring of Honor, Nigel McGuinness, the same people, yes, people have said this before, they're not the same person, but they are. Now, Abyss will defeat, I'm going to say this right now, Abyss will defeat Desmond Wolfe and have full control over Chelsea for 30 days, and I will love it! Woo! Before I crack up here, that's just freaking awesome. Now, the X Division Championship will be on the line. The champion, Kazarian, will face Douglas Williams. Now, if you know from last month, I said Douglas Williams would lose the X Division title, and he did. But on a technicality, which I kind of agree with him on this one. Now, we all know about the volcano that Renwell, was it Iceland? It was Iceland. Of all places, a volcano erupts in Iceland, and the ash goes all over Europe. Basically has Europe on shutdown. No planes, no boats, no nothing. So Douglas Williams is stuck in the UK because of ash and other shit that's probably coming from the volcano. We don't know what goes with that volcano. But because of that, he cannot make it to lockdown last month. Therefore, TNA management stripped him of the title, and Kazarian won it in a freeway dance in a cage. Now, I really think that Douglas Williams has a legitimate gripe here. Because, hell, nobody can make it. Even the Raw crew, people that toured Europe for Raw, could not make it to this volcano. Because of this volcano, they were stuck in Europe forever, and it kind of made which, if you remember that SmackDown version of Raw, that is why Raw could not make it. Because of the volcano. Because many people were touring in Europe for the WWE and whatnot. Now, I don't really know what Douglas Williams was doing in the UK. Maybe just promoting TNA or something. I don't know what they do in Europe. They probably had a few shows there in Europe. But he could not control the travel issues. Therefore, it's really unjust. Especially because he has the title belt. He has the X Division title belt. And he lost it because of travel issues out of his control. Now, normally I don't agree with Douglas Williams, but I think that's bullshit, in my opinion. But that's only my opinion. You probably have a different opinion, I don't really care. But Kazarian, on the other hand, deserves the X Division Championship. Now, either Douglas Williams will win and become the new X Division Champion. But Kazarian is a very good wrestler. Hell, he was probably Suicide for all we know. People probably guessed that, and we knew he was Suicide. But he came back as Kazarian, and I love it. So, what I think is, since, there's not a cage and you never... Because this is actually the first time Kazarian will face Douglas Williams. And Douglas Williams has a completely different style from X Division wrestlers. They're high flyers. Douglas Williams brings a beat-down, smash-mouth, in-your-face, plus a submission style. Very technical wrestler. Very good technical wrestler. I honestly will bet against Kazarian. I will say Douglas Williams will win. Probably going to change it a few days later, but why not? Now, the World Tag Team Championship match. Originally, this was supposed to be Matt Morgan and a mystery partner, or Matt Morgan or Matt Morgan by himself, versus Inc., Jesse Neal, and Shannon Moore. But because the band cashed in the Feast or Fired cage, which is basically 4 Money in the Banks for different title shots. Now, and 1 pink slip or whatever. But the band cashed it in, and they are the new TNA Tag Team Champions. So it will be the band versus Inc. And that really changes my prediction, because I honestly was going to say Matt Morgan would lose the titles, but he did lose the titles on Impact. Now, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash have probably one of the most experienced people in the wrestling industry. Not just because of the NWO and the Monday Night Wars and all that shit that went down when they were around, but they have seen a lot of shit, man. And especially since Scott Hall and Kevin Nash are really good tag team partners. They know each other inside and out. Inc. probably was for a few weeks. I honestly think Kevin Nash and Scott Hall will retain their championship. Now, a grudge match. Jeff Hardy will face Mr. Anderson, which is, because Kurt Angle's gone. I love that moonsault, by the way. If you haven't seen Kurt Angle versus Kennedy, Lockdown, Anderson, Kennedy, Lockdown, it is a great match. Kurt Angle probably does probably the only moonsault that I've seen him done on top of the steel cage, which is fucking awesome. Now, Jeff Hardy is totally different. Jeff Hardy brings a totally different style to Mr. Anderson, and I think, honestly, Jeff Hardy will win and beat Mr. Anderson. And I apologize, but we have to be right back. 10-minute time limit